And then we can, when it gets to be spring, we can give you some tips about effective irrigation techniques
Okay.
and ground cover plants that will help to retain moisture.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
All right. Well done, Lisa, for coming on tonight and just, getting on there. And don't be frustrated with yourself. Oh my goodness. Homeschool is definitely the first. And this is your first year of homeschooling, you said?
With all my, yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes.
3, but it's not like hordes of kids, but yeah, it's just.
Yeah, 3 is a lot. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So God bless you for doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for your help.
All right, great. So we'll go to Sandy. There you go. Hello, Sandy. Oh my goodness, good things. Yes.
First, I wanted to say, Lisa, that's awesome. You're homeschooling. So we're very supportive of that. We actually moved down to Arizona for a school that's like a homeschool supplement. So, and that's what I'm going to talk about because we have some awesome garden stuff happening there. And I wanted to thank you, Nikki and Dave, for the awesome changes you're making in the program, because that's made it so much easier to do stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I knew it was 10 minutes a day before, but it's like 10 minutes a day plus watch an hour-long video, which wasn't necessarily 10 minutes a day. So the sprouting course was awesome and empowering. We have sprouts with dinner. I'll show you.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Poured out the sprouts. And so he's the one who laid them down to plant them. I'm like, okay, we're going to go with it and find out what happened.
Yeah. Congrats. Very good.
Today I did observation from the design course. With my 4-year-old, we walked around over at this school, and we've actually been having more rain than usual for Arizona. So the opposite problem of what Lisa's having. Although, once the rain is gone, then it dries back up. So we went, okay, here's the places that it was mud, and we put mulch on top so that the kids wouldn't play in the mud. All right, what's the ground like? What patterns do you notice that? And we found, the top is dry, and then the bottom, it gets squishy.
That's right.
And it was dry, cracked ground where there wasn't mulch. So it was neat to see that.
See the difference.
Observe that with a 4-year-old, so he can, even if he doesn't get all the gardening concepts, we can still look for patterns, and we can apply this just on different levels.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's amazing. I'm so happy that you're using it to the full and that your son is benefiting from it so much too.
Yeah, all my boys watching the videos. That I don't know if the 1-year-old cares actually. He just the sprouts and uproot them.
Okay, so you sent us a lot of work for a lot of good sketches for your school garden, different parts of your school garden, and
so we want the whole 1-acre campus to be garden. Basically, it already has 50 citrus trees on it. So anytime the kids want a snack, we say, "Oh, go get an orange, go get a grapefruit."
Yes.
We have a bunch more trees that are coming on Friday. So we're getting ready to install a bunch. And I don't think I even put those on there. The food forest is there, but that's not my main focus. I'm heading up the rain garden, and then me and the other garden person are working together on that. We kind of decided, let's not make this parking. Let's make this a meditation play garden instead. So we have the tractor. Let's lower this down a couple inches, and then we'll figure out something to do there.
Right.
Know that lowering stuff is good, and we're gonna.
Yes.
Except for the cactuses, so we have a prickly pear cactus that was donated, and some aloe vera.
Wow.
So got raised up a little bit in the rain garden area, and my goal there is to try to make everything eventually be able to be just on rainwater.
To what?
To just be on rainwater in that front yard.
Yes. Okay. Now, don't be, I don't know how long that takes, honestly. So I don't know how long you'll need to be watering initially, keep it going before that picks up.
And
but
lots of mulch.
Here,
I'll try to keep an eye on things. And we got a pack of a bunch of different seeds from nativeseeds.org, I think. It's all stuff that's made for this area. So
it's kind of exciting.
Yeah. So it's awesome. And like really pretty popcorns and things that look like rocks. I'm like, hey, if they grow and they like don't want to be overwatered, that's really good when it's 110 degrees out.
Yeah, no, I saw they had like a monsoon garden collection.
So
Yeah, that's exciting.
yeah, because I never even heard that was a thing. But of course, when the Indians were here, they had to eat something, so they knew what they were doing. This is my 4-year-old who likes to help out.
Oh, we saw your handiwork. Well done.
So I guess what I want to focus on with the rain garden right now is figuring out like so we have that circle on the map that I showed you that we took out. There was like a rose circle, and we're gonna put a mesquite tree in there instead, and then create a mesquite guild there. How close to the trunk should I plant things? And like, do you have any ideas on how far down or up?
Sorry, how close to the truck?
Trunk.
So like, have a mesquite tree,
Oh, okay.
planting other things underneath, or should they be just in the same general area but not right under?
What kind of mesquite tree is it? Is it like a velvet mesquite or?
Velvet or honey, one of them that we're gonna take the pods and fill them into flower.
So do you plan on pruning it back, or are you gonna let it grow to a full size?
I'm open to suggestions. I'm on the phone.
So I don't know specifically with a mesquite, but generally with a tree, you want to plant mostly around the drip line of the tree. So you look at where the branches would extend around the tree. So you could probably say about 5 or 6 feet radius around the tree for a large canopy tree, and that's where you're going to put most of your support species. So all your things that are fulfilling functions, whether they're suppressing weeds or providing mulch for the tree, that's kind of where you want to put all your support species. There are smaller species like smaller things like chives and bulbs like daffodils that you can put a little closer to the drip line. And there things that have very shallow roots like ground cover. If you're going to grow some vetch or you probably won't need to grow any kind of leguminous ground cover for the mesquite because it's a legume itself. So you could probably get away with just having a mulch right up against the trunk.
Okay, yeah, and we'll have we do the get chip drop. I don't know how widespread that is, but in Arizona, it's really quick that we say, hey, I want a chip drop, and we have one usually within a day or two. So we have lots and lots of wood chips.
Oh, that's great. And then you said you're not concerned with the citrus for now, correct?
So we have like a lot of trees and a lot of citrus, but that's the other gardeners focusing on.
Okay.
Like I want your input on, and they're already established, and so they're pretty easy to handle.
You can also put some herbaceous species. I did a little bit of research. I'm not sure if you went to that Neil Spackman link.
Maybe was that the one about the mesquite guilds?
No, there's one like he's in Saudi Arabia or something.
The videos of I saw those before about the greening the desert thing.
Yeah. So what's nice about his page is at the bottom of the page he has a list of species. So he's broken it down into categories like ground cover, fruit trees, etc. So I just found it. Some of those are more suited for like extreme dry conditions, but you might be able to pick a couple things out of it.
So it's dry except for in the summer. If you talk to the locals here who don't garden, they say that, oh, it doesn't rain except for the monsoon. So it rains in like July and August, and then it doesn't rain again the rest of the year. And I guess we've had an unusually wet winter. It's my first one here. I'm like, we're getting an awful lot of mud for a desert. But we also tore up all the grass, so that makes it muddier. But yeah, it definitely gets dry, especially in the summertime here, and anytime it's not actually raining.
Do you have plans on creating a compost pile at the school? Or?
Yeah, we have, the city has free compost bins, which are just like the top half of a trash can with holes in it. So we have a bunch of those lined up along the outside. So we have, a ton of those, and we're not actively doing anything with them. Just tell everybody, hey, here's the garbage, here's the recycle, here's the compost. So everybody throws out their compost.
Because the exciting thing that I've read about compost in drylands is it's not so much the nutrients from the soil. It's more like you can get some bacterial life in the compost.
Yeah, it's just hard clay. It's like a rock.
And then you can create, what's nice is you can create compost teas from the compost. That's like more interesting than the actual compost. And then once you get some of the life percolating in the soil, it'll start to break things up and loose. It's amazing what life does to the soil.
Yeah, and that's why I was shoveling some of the chip drop, the chip drop is just the trees that go through the mulcher or whatever.
Mhm.
Instead of people dropping them at a place where they pay $200, they just drop them off at local people who sign up for free. And so you get like a whole arborist, and most of the stuff around here tend to be legumes anyway. So it's lots of good compost mulch stuff. So I was shoveling a bunch of that where the mesquite's going to go to hopefully get that started.
What's your timeline, Sandy? When do you think you'll do this?
The
mesquite gill, yeah.
I'm not sure if that one's coming on Friday or in a few weeks.
Oh, wow. So you almost have to be ready with the hole and the digging and the tractor.
Yeah, we already had the tractor come. We
Okay.
have the hole for the mesquites. We dug the circle down a little bit. The rest of the rain bed I need to finish shoveling, but so we have holes for all the trees that are going in and stuff, and it's awesome because we don't feel like, oh, this is just my project I have to do by myself. I have a team of people helping me, and it's fun, and we get to do it together. So it's play instead of work.
Oh my gosh, you should be so proud of yourself. This is a big undertaking, and for you to have a team of people with you doing this.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah, very good. So I would it's good that you have the stuff ready to go. I would just like to see a few pictures more of what it looks like right now with the shoveled holes and everything, just so that I can, because the Google map is good to see where positions are, but yeah.
School though.
Hmm?
That's before it was a school.
That was before. Okay. Yes, please.
Yeah,
Please send those just so I have a better idea of what else. Really, it looks like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, we're trying, and we're finding local people who know what they're doing. I guess the other thing was on the garden that's right across from the play set.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation area.
Yes.
Meditation play garden. What are things that you would suggest, plants or whatever, that would be really good for kids and make it fun?
Well,
would an herb spiral work in Arizona, or does that defeat
I don't think
no, not an herb spiral, but meditation garden. I would say if you get donations for trees, like the palm trees I think would be great.
Mulberry and one other holes dug for that we're going to put in there on Friday, Saturday. So we have a couple.
Then
what we found with kids is they're very sensorial, so they like smells and taste and
textures too.
So
Yeah.
there's easy to grow things like sage
Mhm.
that
Yes.
they have an interesting texture and a nice smell, and you can taste the things.
So those plants with fuzzy leaves are like that climate, actually. Like sage is that Mediterranean dry climate. I know that you're not exactly Mediterranean, but it is dry, and it will, I think it will tolerate, if you're having some rains, it will take. I'm not sure if lamb's ear is the same. I have this like inkling that they're kind of the same way that, growing. Lamb's ears are very like sensorial, kids garden kind of thing.
I don't think that's going to work in the desert, though. Is the only thing.
What?
I'm not
Do
sure
you
if lamb's ear will do well in 110 degree weather.
But will it do well before it gets to 110 degrees? And maybe
That's what I'm wondering, because once it's established, then it just shades itself, and it'll have a colony of nice soft textured things. And then flowers. I wonder what the native flowers are in your area that'll like evoke beauty. Hmm?
a lot of native things have spines on them.
Yes, that's why the mesquite has spines, right? So that wouldn't be
All the cactuses have spines.
all this. Yes.
So that's why we're keeping the cactuses in the yard, not by the kids. But we already
Yes.
have some roses. There's tons of roses that came with the property.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, flowers. Because that one, that would evoke, when they meditate on beauty, and I think that would be one. I'll have to do a little more research, I think, for your area, but for the meditation garden. And I've written down here. We're gonna send you again the Neil Spackman link to all the different.
you know the talking about.
Yes.
But if you send it again, it'll show up higher in my inbox.
What did I just say?
I think I had mentioned in a previous Zoom call safflowers. So that's one of the things I'm actually experimenting with. Is that it's one of my experiments is that I think that safflower is actually a pretty good ground cover for the desert. So I know that we're not in the desert, but I want to get more experience actually growing safflower. So that might be a possibility too, because it produces nice flowers.
Okay.
Think about that.
Yeah, flowers is good. Durable and can handle lots of kids who want to touch things and whatnot is definitely.
And pick them, yes. All right. Oh, okay. Well, we covered your rain garden and your meditation garden.
Yeah.
And we'll get back to you a little bit more on like suggestions that we know from people who grow in the desert. But yes, when you can, anytime, like the pictures, when the tree goes in, see if you can snap some pictures. Also, before pictures are really good, because then when the after comes 3 years from now, it'll just be a dramatic, before and after. So take those before pictures now, and the how-to pictures for other people to learn from what you're doing.
Because right now it all looks like it's in creation mode while it's just chaos. So here's like a bunch of mine covered by wood savings. Why did you get rid of the grass and the shrubs? Or just
Well, they'll see soon what
things coming.
Yeah, there's gonna be good stuff coming out of there for sure.
If
Okay.
you have any connections that have insights into like sunken beds and waffle beds about how deep that should be, how much mulch, like if you have connections.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I will connect you to some people there in Arizona. I think that I've just email friends. Yes. Thank you. Let me write that down before I forget, because I might not do that. Did you want to add anything else, Dave? Or do you have any other questions, Sandy?
No.
Okay.
I have lots of questions, but I need to focus on one thing at a time. So this is all right now. So I'm not going to ask any more questions.
Oh no! Email us.
I will when they come. I just need to first thing is get the mesquite in the ground.
Right.
These things. So I need to act before I ask for what to do next, or I will get overwhelmed.
Yes, that's true. Okay. And connections. Okay, thank you so much, Sandy. Well done. I mean, you have to document this because people will want to know how you did it when they come and visit the school. And then, reporters will come and they'll say, who did this garden? And you have to have like the pictures to show them that this can be done in other schools. So
Right.
yeah, document.
To be something that people can see. Oh, I can do that. You can grow things. You can grow
Yes.
plants on your roof. There's more than you think there is, because I've been there in the rain and there's a lot of water coming off that roof.
Oh my gosh. And you're seeing it. You're seeing what nobody else is seeing. So thank you for growing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Sherry, you're up next. I see you, but I don't hear you yet. And then Katie, you're after Sherry. Wait, did I do that right? Or did I do a...
I think you had Katie before.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Katie. Sherry, I'm so sorry. Backtrack. Katie, I'm so sorry. I thought I had Sherry next, but you are next. You're on my screen, so yay. Katie, welcome. Come on and tell us about yourself. This is your first Zoom call, right?
Yep, this is. We're living in Nashville, Tennessee. We also homeschool. So I have 2 girls, 7.5 and 4 years old. So this is kind of an effort to help my oldest to get really involved in her homeschooling. She really loves projects.
Mm-hmm.
She's very interested in gardening. And so I have no experience there. And so I was trying to, avoid maybe the common pitfalls or trying to figure out what we're supposed to be doing when. Because I checked out some books from the library and I got kind of, it was a lot of information. So I was just trying to figure out what I needed to do. And it sounded like you guys had it lined up pretty well for us to start learning and start implementing things this year.
Oh, Katie, this is so wonderful. Thank you for joining and homeschooling alongside with it. 7.5 is definitely a great age to be growing food. Those are the kids that we teach. Our 8-year-old is about, she's the most excited about it, I think. There's the others. I mean, maybe the younger ones too, or it depends on the kid, right? But it's a great age to start. So you finished the sprouting course. How did you find that? And how did your daughters find it?
It was fun. We have our sprouts and she asks to use them. She puts them in like hummus and she puts them like all kinds of stuff. She's like, can I get you some for your salad? And here, let's put some on this meal. So she's really into it and excited about it, which is cool. And so that went really well. It was an easy win for us. So that was good.
Good.
Yeah. And we've been doing the design class we just did day 4 of that. So
okay.
We had a very wet 10 minutes of observation today, but it was good.
Oh, wow. I am so proud of you. All of you who've been doing the design observation 10 minutes. That's major because it is hard to get out there, when everything is in the home and hustle and bustle. So good on you to do that. And have you noticed anything about your property or where you might want to start or anything of that sort?
Well, that's another thing. We live in Nashville, Tennessee, and we live in a very, very small yard. My husband was kind of thinking, man, if I knew that she had a passion for gardening and wanted to have a yard, we would have lived in a different place. So we're like, oh man, what do we do? But, I've seen some stuff that you guys have put together where in a small yard you can do a lot. So I think it's a good starter kind of situation for us. We've got a couple of decks. We live in one of those tall and skinnies, if you know what I'm saying.
Are you in a townhome?
We aren't. It's a detached, situation, single family home. But
Okay.
it's we've got very small yard, like incredibly small in the front, and it's fenced in, and then we have a slope past the fence that goes to the sidewalk.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's anything that we could do there. And then we have a couple of Japanese maples like right beside our front porch. We have another porch on the other side, our side porch, and then we have a rooftop deck where I think we could do some things too. I had some questions. One of my main questions was on, we had, I don't know if you know about termite situations. But we had the shield treatment or whatever, where it's, you know, like instead of doing the bait or the traps or whatever, they do like a kind of a chemical thing. And I don't know if that makes the soil, like, if I can still use it for gardening or not. So I was a little bit concerned about that. And then just about soil samples in general. I didn't know if that was something that we needed to do or how that works. Yeah. And I guess if you have a small garden, like what to do. If I should do more potted things, or anyway, just trying to figure it out. And my daughter wants to go big.
She wants to go big. Okay. That's great. All right. First question was how long ago was the treatment?
It was a year and a half ago.
Okay. And you've had some rain since then?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I would definitely do a soil sample. I think I talk about that a little bit in the design course. Or do I not? But yeah, you would go to your extension office. So where the master gardeners are in Tennessee, they usually will have or give out these boxes for soil samples. Sometimes in our place, they give it out in the library. But if you can order, I think for us, it's $16 to get a soil test kit. In other places, it's more expensive. It can go up to like $50, I think, in California. And basically what they test for is the chemicals and pH and nutrients in your soil. It depends on your extension office. But I'll find the one that's closest for you too. If you do your research, I'll do your research. Between the two of us, we'll get where the location of your nearest extension office is. Katie, I'm going to put that down.
Okay.
Soil tests. Because then you'll know for sure if you have if you have fertilizers or your soil is too acidic, or it shows up as having not much life, not much organic humus life, then that means that maybe there's something that's killing the life off that came from the treatment still. And then from there we might have to do, I don't know, raised beds probably. But if, I think if it's a year and a half, I think it's probably washed off. I've gotten this saying from somebody else, and I don't know who she is. She was some health coach, but she said the solution to pollution is dilution.
Mm-hmm.
The solution to pollution is dilution. So as long as you dilute whatever it is, the toxic chemicals, even in the compost, somebody just said that to me, asked like, okay, I grab my leaves from like everywhere, neighbors' yards, and they could be spraying pesticide. And I mix them in with my leaves and my organic matter, and am I not concerned that then that pesticide might get into my soil? But if your compost bin is big enough and it has more of the organic stuff that you're sure of than the fertilizer possible stuff, then that it'll kind of be diluted, and the toxins will be locked up in the carbon chains, and it'll take care of that that pollution or that the pesticides in that way. So
the key is the more life that you introduce into the yard, the faster the dilution and sequestration of any pollution.
Yes, the faster that's the key. Like if there's stuff living in there, then that the poison is not it's not getting poisoned, and it's making the soil even more and more fertile. So life in the soil is key. But yes, get the soil. We always, if you're starting out a garden, we always recommend soil test in the beginning. So at least you have a baseline, and then you can compare. You don't have to do the soil test every year. You just have to do it at the beginning, and then you see where you're starting from. And then later along down the road, you may or may not want to do it again just to see what your numbers are. But
and the yard do you test?
So the soil test kits will say take a little bit from each corner of the yard and just mix it in. And so they get a widespread. But some soil tests will say, is this only in the front or is it in the back? And they'll ask you specifically. But if they don't, and they'll have instructions in the soil test kit saying, take it from 5 different parts of your yard and mix it up. Then I just follow those. I just follow those instructions. And
I'm starting to poison my family, so that's
yes, indeed, yeah. You don't want that.
Okay, good.
Right.
And then I was going to ask too, in terms of like timeline.
Mhm.
And we also have a compost bin, and I'm not sure if like that's going okay or not. So I don't know what's normal in terms of like what it's supposed to look like when, because and when it's done. So I didn't know if you had any information on that.
Yes, so we have a little composting webinar. Oh,
I-
sorry.
I know there's browns and greens and things they're supposed to balance out,
Yeah.
but I don't like check it. I mean, it's really high theory for me. I don't.
Okay, 1:4. Is that right? Like 25% nitrogen, that's greens, and the
No, I think it's
rest.
the other. You want it the other way, right? Like more browns than greens.
Yeah, so less greens, right? 1/4 is greens, right, Dave? Is that right? That's what I do. 1/4, 25%.
Yeah, I think the greens they're kind of like your rocket fuels. So they're the thing that ignite the browns, and then the browns are kind of like the slow burn. So
Okay.
they take a long time to break down. That's why you need the nitrogen. And once they get started, they'll break down. I mean, the nice thing about compost is that if you just ignore it and you did nothing for a year, you'd have perfect compost.
It'll
So,
still break down.
yeah, I mean, even if you mess it up, you're not really messing it up. So it's a matter of what we've discovered. It's both the size of the compost and how much you turn it are probably
Yes.
the two most important factors for that.
And in Arizona, you need to water your compost too, because if it's too dry, as it gets in the desert, then it doesn't break down, but you won't have a problem in Tennessee, Katie.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Curious about back when before it froze, there were little like things in it, and is that okay?
Yes, I was concerned about that too when I started composting. But if you don't want to see the little like things in it, you have to turn it every other day. The more often you turn it, the more it'll kind of balance out all those things. And it is really gross. Like we had a compost in our first year of composting. Dave was so grossed out. Now we're just like, there's nothing that can gross us out. But it was like this whole worm, right, Dave? Whole worm bin of maggots that had overrun all the worms. No more worms, all maggots. And then
Yeah, I think we didn't realize that worms are pretty sensitive to heat. So we had it out in like 100-degree weather in a plastic bin, and the worms nuked, but that was like perfect temperatures for flies. So yeah, one day we had like thousands of worms, and then the next week we had thousands of maggots. It was pretty disgusting. But in the end, those maggots died, and then they made good compost. So it's still, in the end, it all dies, and then you get.
So they'll be like up and down, like they'll, until you get the feel for, oh, this is going to be good compost. You'll smell it. You'll smell like what good compost smells like. You'll see the disintegration, and then you kind of will feel the heat. But the turning is key, like turning every other day. And we do have a webinar on it, and I'll send you the link to the composting webinar, which is just the basics of composting. And you can make compost in theory in 18 days. I don't know what your setup is. Do you have a pallet compost in the back, or do you have a box in your yard? What does compost look like?
It's Costco. It burns like a bear, and has two sides to it, and it spins. So that's what I have.
Okay, I know what that one is, and that makes good compost here. I have two friends who have that same thing. Like once the one side is done, then you slide it over, and then you do the next side, right? You just add your kitchen scraps as you go, and you turn it. Yes. So right now, I think you're safe. It's cold. You want to turn it because it needs the heat. The heat comes from the digestion of the bacteria inside, and the mating. So it's good to have life in there, like little things, and that'll heat it up, and it'll heat it up to a point that everything dies, and then it kind of fizzles. And then in the summer, you have to watch that bin because that'll get overheated too easily. So you might want to just watch it and add more of the browns to cool off, to balance it off. So that's where I mean, that's what I mean by you have to like spend the time, invest the time in your compost bin, seeing it and seeing what feels right and what doesn't
Okay.
in your specific situation to find out eventually like what works. But the composting webinar will be a good starting point for you, I think.
Okay. I have a lot to start.
Okay, great. What was your other question? Oh, for small spaces, right?
Mhm.
How to garden and what would you, if you want to go big?
I'm not sure where to start. Like, what's a good beginner setup for like a small space where I can get some good wins this year? I guess is what I'm asking. Like, how should I set it up?
Is it just your patio, or do you have some ground? Like,
I do have some in-ground ground. I could probably measure it and let you know
yes.
exactly how much I have.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's not a lot.
So I think that's what we're kind of targeting with this core course is where we focus on a single raised bed. So we go through all the steps of like how you choose your plants for that raised bed, how you maintain it, how you would build the raised bed and install it, how you would transplant your seeds that you start into the raised bed. So we're kind of finishing up. We released the design part first, but there's a number of parts that are almost completed as well. So right after you finish the design portion, I think probably a raised bed is the easiest to go with if you've not really done anything before, because it's very focused, and then you'll have a harvest in a single season. Whereas if you go like fully perennial and everything, some of these things take a few years to establish, and you won't get that easy win.
Okay, well that's really helpful. I really love how y'all kind of baby stepping along. So I'm counting on that. Like moving forward. I like this approach.
Oh, thank you. We've gotten that as a feedback and that's so important to us to hear that it's working. So thank you, Katie.
And could pick something that was more difficult for me, I wouldn't imagine what it would be. I'm like, gardening. Oh my goodness, I've literally never done this before. So yeah, I'm glad to be learning something. I love to learn. I just never have touched it before. So
no, so do we. We're learning right along with you. Thank you. Yes, very good. So we'll send you the composting webinar, and you send us the sketches or the dimensions of your yard.
Okay.
Your future raised bed.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie. And another Tennessean, Sherry.
Can you actually hear me?
Yes, Sherry, I can hear you. And I saw Sherry has been so good sending us videos of her yard, of her 81-acre space. So I was able to review that, and it's amazing. It's like, what a project, Sherry.
Right. Yeah, well, that was pretty much just right around our house. And I'm not trying to do anything with the rest of the acreage, but we have probably about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 acres. Well, maybe it's 3 acres that I'm trying to work on slowly. And so anyway, I'm just happy to be here. I'm sorry I couldn't get on on my computer. I actually had to come out, and I'm actually outside in my car because I can hear y'all now. We have really bad, our phones don't work inside our house, and we live way out in the country. So anyway, but I'm out, and I'm glad that I could actually talk to you guys.
Oh, so are we. Sherry has, and to give a little background, she has 81 acres in Tennessee, and it's sprawling hill with a lot of possibility. And you just moved in this last November? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
wow.
That's correct.
That's amazing. And
So yeah.
where do you want to start with these 3 to 4 acres that you wanted to start with? Which part of your house were you thinking for that?
I'm really thinking right now, and I was wanting to get your input possibly. When I showed you the video right in front of our house, in front of our porch, I was thinking of putting like a garden there, have edible landscaping there, but have like maybe some currant bushes, and then interplant with different things, like things that are pretty, like greens, like Swiss chard or spinach, or herbs and things that are interplanted in here.
So the ones right in front of your house that say herb grow box, is that what you were looking to do? Or just the one right in front, right in front of the pillars?
It was right in front of the pillars, correct.
Okay, so that's not even on your sketch, right? And I did see that, and I thought this is where she should start, because if you've watched a little bit of the design course, that's zone 0. So excellent choice, or zone 1 rather. That excellent choice, Sherry, because
okay.
Yeah,
I think it's what I was going to say is I think that I was actually walking my dog one night, and I saw how like the shadows were over it, and I could see the potential where a garden could go. And that side of the house is where it gets a lot of sun during the day. And so that's on the east side of our house. And so it gets, it would definitely get the, full sun, and it would be easy to probably maintain and start. But one thing is my yard is really bad soil. We have a lot of clay and rocks. It's super rocky, and if you've ever heard of chert, that's what we have. So
what did you say? How do you spell that?
Pardon?
You said if you ever heard of
chert. It's
chert.
CHIRT. That's what they call what we have.
Oh, is it a mixture of dirt and something else?
It's very clay with a lot of rocks.
Okay.
How big are the rocks? Are they small rocks or are they large rocks?
We have both.
Okay. And then do you have any topsoil, or is it pretty much, is there a point where it's solid rock?
No, it's not solid rock, but it's just mostly rocks. So I was thinking of actually using, the lasagna garden way, where, I can just put down, like the, paper or cardboard, and then, put the layers on there to build up so I can actually grow something. I mean, I actually am growing things in this kind of dirt. I've got blueberries that are doing well. I've got like mums and other comfrey. They all do well, but I just have really bad dirt. I don't understand, but anyway.
How many comfreys do you have in there?
I have probably about 3 or 4.
And they're the first year that you put them in?
They've been there probably 2 years.
Okay. So they're already probably you're getting a lot of green mulch from them, right?
Probably I'm getting some, correct.
Okay.
So you know that with comfrey you can chop and drop the leaves when they go and their foliage goes crazy. and that'll help fertilize the soil that's surrounding them as well. And your blueberries,
Yeah.
I think, oh, sorry, Sherry.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I would also get a soil test for that area, just for
Okay.
your kitchen garden area, because I'd be interested to know what the pH is. If your blueberries are doing
Okay.
well, you get a lot of yield from your blueberries.
Not yet, because they're fairly small yet.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Yes. If they're doing well, it could be blueberries don't like it unless the soil is acidic. So you probably have to keep them in particular away from the rest of the, I mean, they are already away from the kitchen garden, future
Yes,
garden
it
site.
is.
Yes. And keep the pH that they love low, because
Okay.
yes, they will produce more blueberries if the pH is around actually 4.5 or something of that sort, really crazy low. But there are natural ways to do that, and I just have, but that's another one. That's another like garden part. But we wanted you to zero in on the kitchen garden, like you said, just for this quarter, so that we do this indeed in baby steps, and then same thing with like Lisa in the beginning, like March 23rd. No, this is true for all of you girls. Ladies, March 23rd, what would your garden goal be, right? Specific, measurable, action-oriented, so it has to start with a verb. Risky, a little bit of a stretch goal for you,
Okay.
whatever that is, personally, time-bound. And if you think the kitchen garden in front of your house is it, you can still do the rest of the things that we talked about and study a little bit more about the swales and the hugelkulturs, because there's some things we wanted to send you about when to swale, when not to swale, when to use hugel beds, when is it better to do one or the other. You can
Okay.
still plant without swaling. Your main problem for your property was that the topsoil was washing away or eroding, right? Which is probably why your soil is very poor with the rains, and
Sure.
it just goes down the river. That's the lovely river at the end of at the
Sure.
bottom.
Yes, ma'am. Sounds good.
So, what do
Sherry,
you think?
I had a quick question about the kitchen garden. So you said that you would like it to be kind of like edible landscaping. So did you want the proportion of plants that you have in there to be more like decorative edible perennials, or are you looking more for like a production kitchen garden where you can get all a lot of annuals that are constantly cycling in through that garden, or maybe a little bit of both?
I was hoping for a little bit of both. I definitely like some things that will be perennial, that'll keep coming back year after year. But I would like to add in, since I'm thinking this might be more of my primary garden, I would like to add some annuals in there too, like some greens and other things for our, to eat.
But you're looking, though, not for like raised beds, but more like natural bedding, garden bed kind of look to it.
I'm thinking so. I'm really, probably what I'm wanting to do is maybe the lasagna garden, where I'm not going to have like a, build up a physical bed with lumber or something, preferably.
I think that's a great idea. It's like gonna have a cottage garden look in the front.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so,
Cottage garden, but you would have built the soil up using the lasagna garden techniques of,
sure.
putting layers and layers of different manure and mulch and straw and compost, and the beginning layer being cardboard. So that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, cottage garden.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, I'll send you some pictures of like the look, I guess, looks or gardens that the first picture that comes to mind, like when I saw those beams too, was actually Amy Strauss. I don't know if you know her,
Yes.
but yes, Amy Strauss's old house front yard with the echinaceas, and she had Swiss chard there too, I think, because they are very decorative.
Yes.
So,
Mhm.
so we can
I
pull.
have her book, so
Oh, wonderful! Yes.
yes.
So we can pull some ideas out from that as to what you wanted to grow, and how confident are you in, like how many plants would you like to grow in that bed? Do you think this, and we don't suggest. Well, let's see. Like how many years have you been gardening for, Sherry?
Oh, well, I've done it off and on for many years,
Mm-hmm.
but some of my gardens haven't been as successful. You know, I've had 1 acre gardens, but it has gotten away from me, and um, so I think I don't think this would be too difficult for me to maintain
Okay, that
once I got it up and running.
yes, I think I know. I think I have a better understanding of like how comfortable you might be. So do you think you could do like, I don't know, 8 to 10 different plants? Or you think
Sure.
of that, and then we'll get them from the 7 plant families, as you will find out from the next course, the choosing your plants course. That'll be the next
Okay.
step. But so
Okay.
once you go through the design course,
Uh-huh.
at the end of it, just submit one sketch of that garden bed in the front. That's going to be your
Okay.
that we're going to plant in on March 23rd. So
Okay.
I don't know if you think that's a doable goal, but I think it is. I would like to encourage you to do that. You let us
Yeah.
know if you think it's too aggressive
Okay.
or what. But yeah, that would be a good.
That sounds good to me.
All right, so I will wait for that one, and I'll send you tomorrow just the links that I promised: perennial, edible landscaping ideas.
Okay.
But I think I think Sherry, you know what you're doing next. So
Is
very
this
good.
Yeah.
south facing? Does it get
It's east, but the south is so the sun strikes it from the left side of the house. Here, I'll share it a little bit. I think
Okay.
Dave can see it's gonna be here in front of the house, so it's facing east, right? Sherry?
It's facing east, and of course the south. It's going to be, if you're looking at the house, it's going to be to the left of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
great.
the
So
south.
you get a lot of good morning sun, but maybe a little bit of shade in the afternoon.
Yes, I think so. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
And the trees are in the back of her house, so they're not in the front of her house, which makes that
Yes,
portion really sunny, actually, even though it is the east.
sure.
Yeah.
So Sherry,
Okay.
the largest thing that you'd want to put in this garden would be a bush-sized plant, correct?
Yes, I was thinking of currant bushes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What do you think about that, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, we can give you some. I have an idea of kind of like the shape of the bush that you're thinking if you're interested in currant bushes. So we can give you
Okay.
some suggestions in terms of bushes that are that kind of shape, and then you can and work down from there. That being the largest element in the front garden.
Exactly. Yes, that would be great. That's wonderful. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, very good. I just want to, yeah, you're welcome. Congratulations to all of you, well, for showing up today and for really growing your gardens. This is amazing what we're doing, is like helping each other out, really supporting each other from far away, from various parts of the United States. So it's wonderful to see your gardens growing and all that you've accomplished, even just with the sprouting. Even if it's the winter, we hope you keep on having those garden dreams and garden designs and sketches, and being consistent with with trying to make gardening a part of your everyday life. So that's it. Thank you so much. We'll say goodnight from here.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.